Hey you guys, it's Peter and welcome to my channel, Peter Likes Books. And today I am going to do the LGBTQIA plus booktube tag. And I actually am surprised that I haven't done this tag before. I went back and I looked through my videos and I haven't done this, which really surprises me, especially as important as LGBTQIA books are to me, and we're gonna get into that and I'll explain why in just a second. The original video was designed and created by Danica, and I will link her video below if you guys wanna check it out and you wanna do this tag as well. I think it's actually a very important tag. And you know, I also think it's an important tag for straight allies of the LGBTQIA plus community, because I think that as a community on BookTube, our perspectives about diversity and important books within diversity or diverse voices or own voices, that discussion is important and needs to be had by anybody that reads. So I would suggest anybody doing this book actually, or doing this BookTube video actually. Number one, what was I going to say? Oh, I know what I was going to say. What's interesting to me as I went back is that there's been like two other books that are similar, BookTube, there have been two other similar BookTube videos to this that I have done, but I haven't done this one, and I know I've watched this video before, because I've watched like several versions of this video. I think one night I had planned to do it, and then like I got home and I didn't do a book video at all that night. So, number one, how do you identify? I identify as gay. I identify as a gay male. Number two, what are some of your favorite LGBTQ plus books and authors? Some of my favorite books and authors are The Upside of Unrequited by Becky Albertalli, Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe by Benjamin and Ilir Saenz. Let's see, what else? Will Grayson by David Levithan and John Green. Oh gosh, so many. I mean, Sprout. I sometimes can't remember. Mark Roeder, he wrote a book called A Better Place. He's from Indiana, actually, where I'm from. That book was fantastic. I've read so many books. If you want to know what a lot of my favorites are, I did the A through Z LGBTQIA book tag, so you can go check that out over there, and you can see what all of my favorites are across the board. I'm trying to think. We Are the Ants by Sean David Hutchinson. There's just a lot, and really, I like to read anything that has, you know, LGBTQIA characters, because when I was younger, there just weren't a lot of those characters in books, and so I didn't feel like I related to within the community that I was part of. If I Was Your Girl by Meredith Russo, that was fantastic. So yeah, so many. Okay, let's see. Number three, how often do you talk about LGBTQIA plus books on your channel? And what videos of yours would you recommend people start with if they're looking for LGBTQIA plus content? Okay, I don't talk about it enough. I guess I should. And because Pride Month is coming up, I think that I might dedicate like a video a week or 2 videos a week to Pride Month when it comes up. Pride Month, where I live, is in June. So in June, maybe I'll do 2 Pride Month videos related to BookTube. And if you're gonna watch a video of mine, I would suggest watching the A through Z of my favorite LGBTQIA books that I have read. So that's 26 books that I've read. Duh. Am I right? Is there 26? A, B, C, D, E, F, G? Okay, anyway, number 4, who are your favorite LGBTQIA plus booktubers? This is kind of like an interesting question for me. I do not believe in outing whatsoever, so I'm trying to specifically think about people that I know, even if I know that they fall into our community. You know, unless they've talked about it on their, you know, like their sexuality or how they identify, or, you know, a partner or their gender or something like that, I'm trying to really think about somebody that has talked about it. So Kevin, the Irish Reader, is one of my all-time favorites. And a newer booktuber, Alistair, at Alistair Reviews It, who is married to Zach from The Adventures of Zach and Bee. He's a new booktuber. I will link them below. Go check those 2 out. They're fantastic. I will say one thing, and I would like to be educated on this if there's not. I don't come across a lot of trans booktubers, and could you guys comment below and let me know some? I think that that is an area of booktube that I would like to know more about. So please link that below and let me know and educate me on some trans booktubers out there. And any booktubers, like list below what your favorite booktuber is that's in the LGBTQIA community or identifies within such. Okay, let's see. Number 5. When was the first time you encountered an LGBTQIA plus character in fiction? It was interesting. I was thinking about this as I was like putting together this book tag and sitting here and thinking about it. I was like, I can't remember what the first character I ever read in a book was. And, you know, other than books like Maurice, who I don't even remember who that was written by, you know, back in the day, when I would read things like, you know, Carson McCullers, and I think that The Heart is a Lonely Hunter, I think there's a gay character in it that's like this lonely guy that sits at a bar. I may be completely wrong, but it was the work of Southern fiction. But a lot of times, you know, they would have characters that were very funny. Like they would use them as funny characters in books that like the town kind of made fun of. And, you know, that was my first exposure to that. Now, my first gay book or gay book series that I read was Tales of the City by Armistead Maupin. And oh my God, to this day, those are still some of my favorite books. And no matter what your age is, if you have never read the Armistead Maupin Tales of the City books, I mean, back when I was like 21, 22, those were like the big deal. I mean, everybody was reading them. And he also wrote a book called Maybe the Moon, which was fantastic. And then he has a book called The Night Caller, which they made into a movie with Robin Williams, that also has a gay couple in it. But Tales of the City is fantastic. It's about this apartment building in San Francisco and all these people that live in there, and there is a broad range of the rainbow that lives in this building or is friends with people that live in this building. And it's told over about 6 or 7 books, and it's just fantastically done. And, you know, I think we don't sometimes recognize enough the authors of yesteryear that really paved the road for the authors of today that are, you know, telling their stories in own voices. And Armistead Maupin is definitely one of those people. There was also, they did, I think it was a PBS special they did, like several, you know, episode miniseries of Tales of the City. So if you've never seen it and you've never read the book, it's fantastic. Olympia Dukakis is in the movie. Okay, so let's see the next. So one of the things I did want to say about that was that, you know, like, so years later when I got on BookTube and I started reading a lot of young adult books, one of the things that was so fun for me was that these storylines, this whole idea of a contemporary, you know, young adult, contemporary romance novel that exists today, okay? And, you know, Will Grayson or Aristotle and Dante, or, you know, a lot of these books, you know, Sean David Hutchinson's books, We Are the Ants, you know, they did not exist when I was in high school. Those books did not exist. Had they existed, I would maybe not have felt as alone as I did. You know, to be able to read a book and identify it. And this is kind of an interesting story, and I'm a little embarrassingly telling on myself, but to find gay books when I was in high school, you know, I would go to like the B. Dalton bookstore, and where the gay books were, and I mean literature, okay, would be mixed into gay erotica. So here I was, a 16, 15-year-old kid, trying to find books, stories that I related to within the confines of gay erotica. And what it did was, it made that whole thing for me very dirty. It made me wanting to relate to something romantically dirty, if that makes sense. And so today, to be able to walk into a mainstream bookstore like Barnes & Noble and see a David Levithan book front and center, or a Sean David Hutchinson book, you know, front and center, or Meredith Rousseau's book, you know, about, you know, a trans character, is just fantastic to me. You know, I mean, we have come so far, and I think it is the coolest thing. So, yeah, it's so much different than it was back then. Okay, number 6, anything else you want to add, and who do you tag? Well, I'm not going to tag anybody with this, because I think that it's a tag that should be, I think you should be called to it, so to speak, because I don't want to call anybody out, and I'll let people decide if they want to do it or if they don't want to do it. So, yeah, what is there important for you guys to know about me? I don't know. I feel like, you know, I'm very out about my life than I have been since I was 18 years old when I came out. I'm married, and my husband Alex is in a lot of my videos on all of my channels. I live in the Midwest in the United States, and you know, I think at some point what happened for me is that I'm no longer really part of the coming out process because it's been, you know, 25 years, 30 years. And so at this point in my life, I just feel like it just seeps into everything of who I am as a person. And it's not about, you know, what I am, it's about who I am, and it's just one small part of that encompasses who I am today, but it's also a very, very important, proud part of who I am. And so I think that in all of my videos that I do, whether it's on BookTube or my Storytime channel or my vlog or on my main, you know, drama channel, I think on any of them, I am talking at any moment about LGBTQIA issues because they're very, very important to me, and it's something that I've lived with my entire life. And I think that the more of us that speak from our own personal experience and put that into our videos on a regular basis, the more we can help educate the world to see that we're no different than anybody else. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.